On this video, I'm going to show you how to add a patch pocket to any item of clothing. Hi, I'm Emma from Studio 77. But hey, if you're new here and you're the kind of person who likes sewing tips and ideas, please do hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future tutorials. But today I'm going to show you how to add a really nice patch pocket to any item of clothing. It's not tricky and I'm going to take you through it step by step. So let's go. To start off, you need some thin cardboard to draw the shape of your pocket. I just place it on the clothing and mark a rough shape before straightening it up with a ruler. To get a good curve on the corners, I use a coin to mark around for accuracy. Cut it out. And then lastly, check it back on the clothing to make sure that it looks the right size. I'm doing an applique style pocket for my pocket, so I'm going to show you how I do that too. So first of all, I'm going to just cut some fusible webbing to the size of my little applique pieces. And then I'm going to iron it to the back of my applique pieces using a Teflon sheet, and that is to protect both my iron and my wall pressing mat. It's my favourite tool and I'm going to link to everything in the description below. Next, I need to choose the little elements and cut them out. I want my pocket to stand out, so I found another print that ties in that has the heart on. I'm using the rainbows to tie the design into the main skirt as well. If you would like to see exactly how to make your own lined and gathered skirt, I'll add it in the link on the screen now. It's a full tutorial for any sized child or adult. Now for the main part of the pocket. Lay the card pattern down onto the wrong side of your fabric and draw around it. I'm using an air erasable pen instead of a friction pen, as we don't want the iron to erase the lines. Then mark 1 centimetre around the edge, around 3/8 of an inch for seam allowance, and cut it out. We're going to press the top edge over using the card as a guide. Pressing before sewing gives a really nice accurate finish. You want to fold the raw edge under again to make a nice hem. Now that that's sewn, we need to press around the pocket to tuck the seam allowance inside. Use your card and iron the seam allowance over the edge to get a crisp finish. I like to press the bottom seam, each edge, and then the corners so that it's even. You want to slightly push the top corner down so that it sits slightly below the top edge, and then it won't be seen when it comes to attaching the pocket. Once pressed, snip away tiny triangles of seam allowance in the corners to allow all of the seam allowance to sit nicely on the curve. And repress so that it's really nice and flush. For my applique pieces, I just want to try the layout before committing. Then I'm going to peel off the backing before ironing them in place. At my sewing machine, using a small zigzag, I'm stitching over all of the edges of the applique to secure them in place. Now that the applique is finished, we're going to attach the pocket to the skirt. When you lay the pocket onto the skirt, make sure that all the gathers are nice and flat and that you're not going to pick up any of the extra fabric when you pin it on. I'm measuring from the bottom edge as I know that that's completely straight. Place some pins where I want the bottom edge of the pocket to go as a marker. Good idea to take out the lining if you've got lining in your skirt so that it's out of the way, so that when you pin the pocket on top, you're not going to catch the lining. Make sure as you're pinning that you're not catching the bottom fabric as well, and then pin the pocket all the way around the edge. making sure that you've got those curves really nice and crisp. When it comes to pinning the top 2 corners, make sure that you're pushing the seam allowance slightly underneath so that it doesn't peek out the top. And then you want to check again that you haven't caught any of that backing fabric as well. Stitch it down, we're going to use a slightly longer stitch as a top stitch and for aesthetics. And we're going to make a few locking stitches at the top by sewing a small triangle at the top 2 corners of the pocket. We're going to stitch 2 stitches down the pocket first and then backwards up to the top, 2 across the top and 2 diagonally before going around the whole pocket, and we're only going 1 or 2 millimeters from the edge. Be sure to keep checking while stitching that there's no fabric underneath or that the skirt isn't puckering. Don't forget to do the same triangle stitch at the other top corner to finish off the pocket. Don't forget to do a few stitches at the end to secure your stitching, pull out your pins, snip your threads, and there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Please do click one of these links on the screen right now and it's going to take you through to another great tutorial. I'll see you in the next video.